Hey guys, and welcome to our second week of Environmental Risk Assessment number 2, EM 530. Again, Professor Christopher L. Howard, as you guys all know. And we are going into a interesting new topic this week in week number 2. We talked about last week what is risk assessment. And we had a great seminar on Sunday night discussing risk assessment and how stakeholders are involved in risk assessment and how risk assessment can be proactive, and we're trying to cut down on events happening at various facilities across the United States, in industries like the chemical industry, train car derailments that could cause a chemical release. We're talking about damage to our biodiversity, such as estuaries and those kind of things. What are the risk assessments to our environmental issues? And we really hit home with a lot about what is the risk to human health. We talked about death. We even talked about serious health implications. And we talked about how does a facility, in terms of its risk assessment, take into account those kind of situations as it's planning for its risk assessment plan. Now, this week, guys, we're going to build on that. We're going to look at from a local and a state regional risk assessment perspective. Now, what's very interesting about this, guys, is this is really going to hit home and show us how we have so much risk assessment just around us in our immediate area, our cities, our counties, all of these kind of things. And it's really going to show how we have to ask ourselves, are these facilities and different organizations that are contained, that may have chemicals on site, that may release something in the air, gaseous, may have a pipe. If a facility fails at releasing raw sewage or something into the local waterway, do all of these entities and organizations have risk assessment plans? So those are kind of things that we need to think about this week as we're looking at local and we're looking at statewide and even regional risk assessment. We have to understand where are the various risks around us, and are these facilities developing risk assessment plans? And number 2, are they including other stakeholders like we talked about last week? Are they working with local officials, state officials, first responders, healthcare experts? Are they working with these people to help them respond to a catastrophic event or something that could happen in the future? What is the plan when something happens? Who do they contact immediately? Do they try to take care of it themselves? Do they contact the first responders and get them there immediately? So those are kind of the things that we want to look at this week, guys, as we're talking about regional and we're talking about local and state risk assessment plans. Now, what's also very interesting about this, guys, is we're also going to be examining still federal issues and federal risk and federal assistance to risk assessment. Because what we have to understand too here, state and local officials a lot of times do not have a lot of resources. And number 2, what are the standards for developing risk assessment plans on a state and local level? Do some states have them and some states don't? So we're looking at an integration theory as well too this week. We're looking to see, are there federal standards in place that can be utilized on the local and state level to help facilities create and integrate risk assessment plans for individual facilities and individual areas? What we have to examine here and understand is risk assessment is in place to prevent a catastrophic event and the impacts of a catastrophic event if something happens. So we need to understand on our state and local level, what are our officials doing as quickly as possible to implement that risk assessment plan, to minimize risks, and to create a speedy style recovery from whatever damage has been done. So it's going to be very interesting, guys, to look at this on a local and a state level and see how individual facilities and individual states have or have not planned for risk assessment. Should be a great week, guys. So Kevin and Armin, looking forward to it. Remember, guys, 2 discussion board posts. Make sure you get on those early. Start working on them, and I'll start posting some response questions. Our seminar again, guys. I'll see you guys Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And have a great week, guys. And remember, if you need me, email me. Office hours are on Tuesdays and Sundays from 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll see you guys in class.